We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He's starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come on fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. You sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had a Keyblade. This is part 14, and it's sorry that it took 2 months for me to, well, bring this series back, guys. My apologies. Like I said, I had to use almost like the entirety of August to get my revenue back up after all. And now, since it's stabilized, I'm back to where I used to be. So yeah. At any rate, and now it's time for the part that I know that you've all been waiting for. Izuku versus a corrupted darkness Bakugo. In that of the recap of the last part, everybody is getting ready for that of the third event of the first year sports festival, with Izuku facing against Bakugo, as of course this was rigged so Izuku could take care of Bakugo in his darkness. As of course he already has that of a game plan taken care of. But he still needs to at least prepare, after all. With MHA giving him that of words of support, and the fight between the two being quite fierce. As Bakugo almost looks like he's going straight for the kill for Izuku. As Izuku is just trying to whittle him down enough to basically purify him of his darkness. However, it all comes ahead when Bakugo basically reviews all of everything that he believes Izuku is. That he's always looked down on him, always hated him, always despised him, always hated the fact that somebody like him could even stand up to that of somebody like Bakugo, who was destined to be number one. But Izuku not lay that down, as he's always admired Bakugo, always looked up to him, always admired him. But now, the current Bakugo that he sees before him isn't Katsuki Bakugo. He's nothing but a shadow. And such is that shadow's reaction. He consumed by complete and utter darkness that he created his own personal unversed. And now this battle went from that of a 1v1 to that of a 2v1. But Izuku is prepared, as he's going to give it his all. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Currently, before that of, well, Katsuki unleashed his unversed, everybody across the world seeing that of the UA Sports Festival, as they can't help but get excited for that of the last event, the one-on-one fights, especially that of two families, that being that of the Midoriya family with that of Inko, basically crying almost all the time during that of the entire sports festival. However, it shows that she only cried rivers that of only 2 times. Probably going to be a 3rd time in a bit. Then the Bakugos, being Bakugo's parents, as they're also excited. However, they can't help but think that their son has been acting way more differently than usual. Hell, probably even worse than usual lately. His mother, Mitsuki, on the other hand, has noticed this, and it's kind of gotten her terrified, to be honest. As her brat is unruly and basically and has hardly any respect for anybody, even them, but in a way, it now seems more terrifying Because every time when she sees Bakugo, or Katsuki I should say, it may look like him, but it isn't him. Just, you could say, mother's intuition. And that all comes ahead when the first match between the two, as the parents from both families are basically shocked and surprised. Inko begin to start crying buckets of rivers as she was about to, and that of Bakugo's parents can't help but be completely and utterly shocked and surprised at the brutality of their own son to that of a boy who was once his childhood friend. But now it just gets even worse when they see him create that of an unversed, as that uncomfortable feeling that Mitsuki had before has returned tenfold, as she's wondering what happened to her child, what happened to her son to make him look like that, or whatever has taken over his body. Back at UA, currently the pros alongside the UA faculty are trying to figure out what's going on with Endeavor, Ryukyu, and and even that of All Might, going down to try and figure out what's happening. However, currently inside of the arena, as Izuku is preparing, currently with that of his dual-wielding stance, one Keyblade up front, while the other is behind him, still having a reverse grip, within waiting for the perfect opportunity, as then, without warning, the robot unversed basically heads straight for Izuku. As its treads begin to activate, it basically goes right over Bakugo and was about to slam into that of Izuku. However, Izuku, on the other hand, wasn't fazed by this, as he jumps up into the air without even breaking a sweat, before then switching his, dry eyes Keyblade of that of Eraserhead back into that of his original Keyblade, the Rising Hero. As then he uses that of the Rising Hero, puts in reverse grip before slicing down onto that of the robot's arm, as he chips at least bits of it. Before then, the robot sees this as it tries to knock back that of Izuku. However, Izuku basically dodges out of the way by tilting back, before then using that of his magic. As with that of both Keyblades, he screams out, "Thundera!" Within, that of Thunder begins to come straight from his Keyblade before striking down onto that of the giant mechanical robot. Within soon, Izuku sees that it's now stunned. However, he couldn't relax yet, as he hears an explosion coming straight for him at that of blinding speeds. Within soon, Izuku blocks that of the explosion with both his Keyblades, setting him back before then landing on his feet, as he spins his Keyblades in his hands before putting them back in the reverse grip. Still having a look of pure seriousness, the red-eyed, darkness-consumed Bakugo looks straight at that of Izuku, still having that twisted grin, as he couldn't help but think, even after all these years, Kachan, even while you're consumed by darkness, all you can do is smile. Even all this time, you still admire and look up to All Might. Even while in this form, the old me would have basically admired you for that. But right now, I'm no longer the original old Izuku Midoriya. I'm not Deku. Within soon, feeling like he even heard him, Bakugo basically roars once again, sending that of another blast of explosions. However, instead of it basically just being one large explosion, it basically looks like that of a line of miniature explosions being amplifying one explosion after the other. Within, Izuku seeing this, saying, "Oh crap," as he dodges out of the way, and it hits that of the invisible barrier. Before then, that of the robot unversed basically gets back on its feet as well, as then, using its arm, it shoots that of multiple missiles from its rocket launcher arm. Within, those missiles basically lock onto Izuku, with Izuku seeing this, saying, "Oh crap," as he runs as fast as he can, dodging at least a few of them, jumps up into the air, dodges another one, and then soon, As he's about to get away from another missile, that's when Bakugo comes right in front of him, and that, without warning, as he uses his explosion to basically repel him right in front of Izuku before he dodged the last one, grabs him by his face and slams him into that of the invisible force field, before then unloading that of a payload of explosions from his palm of this hand into that of Izuku's face. As Izuku begins to feel that of the massive burns and shockwaves from that of the explosions, as he could feel his entire body basically rattling, before then letting go of Izuku, before then slamming his knee into that of Izuku's gut, as he couldn't help but gasp and spit comes out of his mouth, before then finishing him off with that of a downward smash with both his hands, as it was also amplified by his explosions as well, knocking Izuku to the ground in the stadium, as those from Class 1A and even some from Class 1B couldn't help but think that this is insane and brutal, as many of them are worried in what's going on, as Tokoyami can help but say, Bakugo is consumed by his darkness. Within, everybody looking at that of the bird-headed Ravenette. Within, soon, Jiro saying, this isn't the time to be cryptic, Tokoyami. Within, soon, Ida saying, I agree. We have no idea why Bakugo just decided to go crazy, and what the heck is that thing in the arena? Within, soon, Tokoyami saying, it's like I said, it is Bakugo's darkness. His inner hatred and emotions within inside of him now manifest in reality. Within Ida saying, Tokoyami, you're speaking utter nonsense. That has to be, Bakugo must have had that of a mysterious and secondary quirk. Within, Shoto couldn't help but narrow his eyes as well at that of Bakugo, thinking, was he holding back all this time? No, the way he's acting, it's almost like he isn't aware of it. More, it's just like his body is just reacting to than the other way around. He wouldn't have, if he knew that he had a quirk like that. A quirk to create that of monsters and whatever the hell that aura is, he would have used it a lot more during these earlier years. The guy just loves to flaunt his quirk after all. Then soon, one of Ochako noticing that of Tsuyu, within saying, hey, Sue, are you okay? Saying, it's so wrong. Within, everybody looking at that of the green net, Frog Girl. But then soon, Mina saying, hey, you okay, Sue? I mean, Bakugo's scared, saying, I just don't know why, but just looking at Bakugo just terrifies me. It's like my instincts telling me to just run away from him as soon as possible and don't go anywhere near him. Overwhelmingly terrifying. Within, everybody hearing this from Sue, somebody soon speak up as it being a familiar but unfamiliar to them, saying, oh yeah, Bakugo's darkness is quite something else, I gotta say. To think that he would have this much darkness inside of him. Within, soon looking at that of the entranceway, where heading into that of where Class 1A could go and sit down, as standing over them and heading over to the edge, as it being the Master of Masters, all in his black cloak glory. Within, soon, Ida saying, sir, who are... don't worry about me. You can say that I'm the one who trained Midoriya down there. I'm Izuku's master. Pleasure to meet you all. As for down there, Izuku's the only one that can take down Bakugo right now. So I think it's best that you all don't need to worry. Within, Sarah saying, worry? Why should we not worry? I mean, did you see what Bakugo's doing down there? Within, Kirishima saying, yeah, both our classmates and friends are basically beating the living crap out of each other. If this don't stop, who knows if they're going to kill one another? Within, soon, the master can help but say, you're overthinking things. Like Izuku would basically kill Bakugo. Within, soon, everybody basically thinking otherwise, but before they begin to realize that Izuku doesn't seem like that kind of guy, even only being in that of UA for at least that of a month or two, he really doesn't seem like that. But it seems like a few pros are already trying to get through that of the barrier alongside your faculty. Lucky for them, that's not going to happen. Within, soon, Ochako saying, but can you at least try? I mean, you're saying that you're his master or something, right? You're his teacher. Don't you want to save Izuku? Within, soon, the master looks at her. However, they can't see his face as it makes him look even more haunting, as he basically doesn't say there before then saying, nah, he's got this. You guys got nothing to worry about. Like I said, he's my pupil. I trained him in everything he knows. Not only that, he's the perfect key. Like he would lose to an imperfect and fake pure darkness after all. As he says this, with those in Class 1A couldn't help but still be worried for Izuku and Bakugo. On the pros side of things, though, the pros that were able to make it down to that of the arena and trying to break through that of the barrier, from that of Endeavor, the staff of UA from Ectoplasm, Ryukyu, even that of Nejire also trying to help out too, as All Might finally arrived as well, as then he couldn't help but still have his smile, but however his eyes say otherwise. Within, soon thinking, we never should have allowed this to happen. If only we should have just done it ourselves. Prevented this from even happening. Probably even removed young Bakugo from the entirety of the event entirety. If we just... Within, soon, Nezu speaking up saying, all faculty and pro heroes, please allow this to play out. Stop trying to get through that into the arena. As Nezu speaks this up on the intercom, and now the announcement booth, as right now President Mike and Aizawa was about to go down there too, but listening to their boss, even though they really want to, is then saying this is still that of a match between that of Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo. It is not our duty to interfere in this fight. As many of the pros couldn't help but protest as they're seeing what's happening in there, as the fight still goes on, as Izuku basically dodges another attack before slicing back that of Bakugo, as he dodges another attack from that of the robot Unburst as well, before then sending that of a blast of magic to knock it back, giving him at least some time to breathe before Bakugo ramps up his assault once more, as Izuku dodges out of the way, with more and more of the pros getting angry at this, as Nezu speaks up once more saying, I understand how you all feel. However, these are our students giving it their all in this arena. It is our duty as that of teachers and as pros to see the next generation is capable of. I believe this is what we should at least allow them to achieve. Wouldn't that be fair enough? Within ensued, hearing that of Nezu's words, many of them couldn't help but agree, but some of them, mainly that of the majority, those who are spectators, who aren't even pros, who got into that arena, aren't even allowing this. Hell, even the pros that are currently on that security detail, like that of Mount Lady, Deaf Arms, and Kamui Woods, feeling a little bit hesitant on listening to that of the principal. However, everybody remains to stay on guard. Before then, he gives out saying, but if it does become too violent, all of the pros down there, make sure that you get in there at any means necessary. Do I make myself clear? Within soon, hearing this, as this is basically the serious tone of Nezu, within, all the pros and the faculty can help but agree, as they allowed the match to continue, as all the pros outside of the arena are staying on standby. Within, Aizawa saying, I was completely against this from the very beginning, and now we're listening to that of a cloaked bastard, after all. With Nezu continue on saying, I agree with you, Aizawa. However, I could feel that the man truly believes that Midoriya is the only one that can do this. And seeing on how he's able to take on those monsters, it seems so. Within suit, Aizawa saying, not to mention, he may be that vigilante that's been acting in all of Tokyo lately, the KeyWarrior. Within, Sue is saying, I expected that as well. Are you going to do anything about it? Saying, I'll try, but it will be quite something to convince that of the public, the heroes here, and the HPSC as well. For the meantime, let's just hope that young Midoriya can can get young Bakugo back into his senses. Back in the arena, as Izuku dodges basically more and more attacks, before then, as he's about to start getting exhausted and tired from the onslaught from two opponents, before thinking, I gotta stop holding back. I don't want to hurt Kacchan. But that thing, on the other hand, well, what would happen if I take that thing down all at once? Within, soon, dodging another flurry of missiles from that of the robot Unversed, as it almost looked just like that of its creator. It almost looks like it has that of a look of pure and utter hatred towards Izuku as well. Within, soon, Bakugo saying, "You're dead, Deku!" as he raised up that of his right hand as he's about to be hit on with that of a fully condensed powered explosion into that of Izuku's body and face. However, Izuku, not even fazed by this, saying, I got this. I'm not going down. Right here! Kacchan! Before Bakugo attack could land, a blast of light basically consumes from that of Izuku, as his body begins to glow in that of a bright light. Alongside that of his Keyblades, actually, as the light consumes them, making them look like that of actual great swords. Within, one solitary slash from that of his rising hero, and knocks Bakugo back with one solitary slash that knocks him into that of the invisible force field, as he gasps in that of pain. Before then, the robot Unversed sees this as well, as then Izuku blitzes towards it as well, as then saying, I'm not done yet! With then putting both his Keyblades in that of normal grip once more, before putting them together, as he channels all of his light magic into that of both Keyblades, creating a more massive and more powerful blade. Within soon, the robot Unversed sees this, as Izuku jumps up into the air and saying, I can't fully remember doing this back at the USJ, but I do remember how it felt when I channeled all my light magic into my Keyblade. However, channeling through my Keyblade now, within, seeing the massive blade coming down onto it, as it tries to grab it with its hands, within, soon, struggling as much as he can, as Izuku can see that of the Unversed, struggling or trying its best not to give in, almost like its creator. As Izuku can help say, never giving up, always trying to win, no matter what. You're just like your creator, Kacchan. I can tell from your eyes, even though you're angry at me, you don't hate me. You don't purely hate me. You're a version of Kacchan that still remains to the light, even when you're inside the Unversed. Within, saying, don't worry, I'll get you back. I promise. Within, one final push, Izuku roars with all of his might as he brings down his Keyblade onto that of the robot's head, splitting it in two as a burst of light pillar comes from that of the slash that goes all the way up into the arena and ends, however, it hits that the invisible barrier, and then soon it dissipates, as then, alongside that of the Unversed. Before then, it tries to reach out for that of Izuku. However, instead of firing that of more missiles, it just tries to reach out, almost like it's trying to offer up its hand. With Izuku couldn't help but have that of a sad look on his face, thinking about that day back in the river. If he offered up that hand, maybe things would have been different. Within soon, Bakugo screams out, Deku! As Izuku gets out of his light form, before then going back into a reverse grip and then channeling something differently. As soon, you could see that of purple and dark misty lines coming off of him. As Bakugo was about to reach him, that's when Izuku's eyes went from that of his normal emerald green to that of amber orange. As then a dark aura erupts from that of Izuku, within knocking back Bakugo, as he couldn't help but snarl while still smiling at the same time. As then the darkness basically wafting off of Izuku, almost like that of snakes coming off of him. As Izuku not even smiling this time. As then, and out of a run, as he prepares, crouching down, he soon blitzes towards that of Bakugo, with Bakugo basically about to aim for him too. As then the two basically clash, with that of Izuku's seductress Keyblade clashing with that of Bakugo's explosions, as the two continue to send out of blast after blast and slash after slash, counteract one another. Before then, Bakugo basically sends that of another blast of explosions down beneath him. Before then, tries to hit that of Izuku behind him, however, not allowing that, as he soon throws that of his Keyblade straight at that of Bakugo. As Bakugo basically dodges it, saying, "You missed me, you damn nerd!" Within soon saying, "Did I?" Before then, a black tendril coming out of his arm grabs that of his seductress Keyblade once more, before then bringing it down, striking down that of Bakugo as he gasses in that of pain, being hit by the Keyblade before being slammed down to the ground, in that of a huge crater. Within soon, the tendril brings the Keyblade back to that of Izuku's hands, putting it back into that of his reverse grip. Before then, rushing towards Bakugo once more, as Bakugo couldn't help but get annoyed at this. Before then, he stands back up, not even phased, sending another volley of explosions. However, they turn into that of small orbs before being sent flying at Izuku, as he slashes at least some of them, before then extending that of his, throwing that of his other Keyblade, the Rising Hero, towards Bakugo again, as Bakugo basically dodges out of the way again, using his explosions to repel him to the side. Before then, about to hit that of another explosion towards Izuku. Before then, his Keyblade hits Bakugo in the back once more, and then, not even stopping there, he slashes him in his face, basically making one large red mark that basically draws blood. The cut isn't deep, but still nothing to scoff at. Within soon bringing his Keyblades back towards him once more, as he didn't stop there, as he kicks, as using his Keyblades, he soon kicks Bakugo in the gut. Before then, bringing his Keyblades down into that of an X slash, in that of his reverse grip, as he's up into the air. Before then, having him in a regular grip once more, and slices down onto Bakugo another time, as Bakugo couldn't help but squeal in that of pure and utter pain and agony as well. Within, feeling like his darkness is starting to weaken, he can't help but say, "No, I won't lose. I can't lose. I refuse to lose. Not to you. I refuse to lose to you." As then, sending another blast of explosions to the ground, as Izuku had to jump back. Before then, Bakugo basically flies up into the air. Before then, he begins to repel himself over and over and over again, before he begins to spin using the rotation as well of his explosions, as he creates that of a tornado of pure and utter explosions. Within, Izuku saying that, "Oh crap." With soon, Izuku realizing, my darkness isn't enough, and I already used my light form. As Izuku couldn't help but grit his teeth, before then sighing, saying, "Guess I got no choice. Once I do this, I'll run out of my magic reserves." Izuku, still in his dark form before he runs out of darkness, he soon raises up his hand before then saying, "Let's go! Force! Gravity!" As then, a wave of gravity basically consumes the entire area of the arena. Hell, it even affected outside of the barrier for a bit, as a few of the pros could help but feel like their feet to the ground has basically disabled. Before then, they get back to the ground. with soon Endeavor saying, "What the hell?" However, the full force of the gravity spell basically affected that of Bakugo, as he's basically floating up in the air, as he can't even use his explosions to basically push himself forward and have the momentum to do so, as he couldn't help but say, "What the hell? Why is..." Within Izuku, not even stopping there, as he then begins to spin himself over and over, as his darkness begins to rapidly spin him, as he extends that of multiple tendrils across that of his arms, as then each of those arms begins to be switching between that of his keyblades. At the same time, as he spins, he begins to become so fast that he looks like that of a pure and utter blur. Within soon, Bakugo seeing and saying, "No, no, no! I won't allow this! I won't allow this, damn it! No!" As Izuku couldn't help but say one last thing, saying, "Sorry, Kachan, but this is the end. This is the end of your darkness!" As then, all the rapid spins and slashes basically consumes into that of Bakugo, to the point that blood begins to be drawn across his body, that it even begins to spill on that of the arena. Before then, soon, Izuku doesn't stop there. Before then, bringing both his keyblades in both his hand and that of his left hand. Before then, with that of his one good hand, as he slams his fist into Bakugo's face, saying, "Smash!" Before the gravity spell fully came to an end, causing Bakugo to fall to the ground, and with that of the force of that punch as well, causes him to basically fall into that of the crater. With soon Izuku, as his wounds and injuries finally catched up to him, as he couldn't help but feel completely and utterly exhausted. Before then, soon, Izuku couldn't help but stand up, saying, "It's over, at least for now, but I have one more thing to do." As Izuku dematerializing that of his seductress Keyblade, before then, heading over to Bakugo, dragging that of his rising hero. Within soon, a few of the pros couldn't help but be shocked and surprised, thinking what Izuku's about to do. As the way that he's dragging, it's almost like he's about to finish him off. It's the pros trying their best to get through, within All Might saying, "Young Midoriya, don't! You don't need to kill him! There's no need to do such a thing! You'll ruin your life if you'll do this!" Within soon, Endeavor saying, "Damn it! I didn't think the Bright he's too damn obsessed with that of trying to beat him. I think he may be consumed by his hatred, or possibly by that of battle lust," as trying to use his flames to get through. Within soon, President Mike and Aizawa couldn't help but worry about this, with even those from Class 1A, as soon Tokiyami saying, "You're Midoriya's master, are you not? Why not go down there to stop him before he's not gonna kill him?" Within Hagakure couldn't help but say, "What makes you say that?" Within saying, "Just look." Before then, he looks down. Before soon, Izuku is already over Bakugo, as he has that of both his hands on his Keyblade. However, instead of that of the, edge version of the key, he has it in that where the teeth are pointing down. Before then, he pointed straight at that of Bakugo's chest, pretty mangled and basically all bloody as well, thinking, "Sorry about this, Kachan. Once this is over, I'll heal you. But until then, I need to seal away that darkness of yours." As then, a bright light basically is consumed by that at the tip of the Keyblade, before it soon comes out and heads straight into that of Bakugo's chest. As Bakugo couldn't help but gasp, however, his eyes went from that of its dark red back to its regular white, even seeing that of his crimson red eyes. With soon pulling something out of Bakugo, as it looks like that of a spear of pure and utter darkness, wicked and twisted, almost with that of explosions basically coming off of it. However, they're basically black and purple explosions. Within, Sood saying, I didn't remove all the darkness inside your heart, Kachan. Everything in this world is composed of both light and darkness. If you remove the other, then you become unwhole. I remember reading about that and seeing it from my dreams. As he thinks of Ventus, even saying the name to himself before thinking, wait, how do I know that name? I never met a person named Ventus outside of just reading about it. But then shaking his head saying, doesn't matter. But soon taking that of the darkness inside of himself, saying, I'll take on your darkness. And before I give it back to you, I'll make it a way where it doesn't consume you ever again. For the meantime, do what you gotta do to be the hero that I know you can become, Kachan. Be the great hero I know you've always were destined to be. But then soon, taking in that of the darkness, as the fatigue off of Izuku finally hits him full force, as he also collapses to the ground. And at the same time, that's when the invisible barrier disappears as well. Within soon, everybody's completely and utterly shocked, dumbfounded, and basically couldn't help but believe what they're basically seeing. Within soon, the pros that were nearby couldn't help but be completely and utterly shocked, as All Might, alongside that of Cementos and Ectoplasm, already grabbing that of both Bakugo and Izuku, as they both looked bad for worse. However, Midnight soon saying, even though that this match was not what we expected, this was still a sanctified match of UA and of the sports festival as well. So the winner is the first one who was able to bring him down and knock him out in the arena. That will be Izuku Midoriya. Within, the crowd for a second didn't clap or cheer. Before then, the Master of Masters began to clap. As soon, without warning, that clap soon infected another person, and another, and another. And then Class 1A does the same with Tokiyami, and even that of Ochako and Ida, within everybody else as well, even some from Class 1B too, and all the other pros and spectators too, couldn't help but clap at this match, even though it was quite terrifying, quite unexpected, and also many other things too that state negativity. But even so, it was still eventful. Within soon, the master couldn't help but say, well, I've seen enough. I think I'm going to head out. Within, see you saying, wait, sir, the way that you're dressed, by any chance, are you the KeyWarrior? Was Midoriya trained by a vigilante? Within, everybody else can help but be shocked, especially given nowadays that the KeyWarrior has basically switched up his attire to a black coat after all. Within, soon, Sato saying, yeah, I remember hearing something about that on that of the news. A vigilante with that of a black coat and a key-like sword like Midoriya's? Are you him? Within, soon, thinking to himself, as he couldn't help but smile under his coat saying, yep, that's me. I'm the KeyWarrior. As he soon thinks to himself, oh boy, you owe me for this big time, Izuku, and I mean big time. You're saying, but other than that, I need to go. Bye. As then saying, oh, and before I forget, all of you, may your heart be your guiding key, especially you, bird boy. As Tokiyami couldn't help but feel at least a little bit nervous. Before then, he enters inside of the dark corridor. Within, Nejire, on the other hand, couldn't help but look at that of Izuku, now in that of a stretcher, and she couldn't help but say, Izuku. Within, she basically placing her hand over his face, as he's completely knocked out, but still somewhat peaceful, even with all the bruises and blood basically on him. She kept saying, I can already tell, just by the way that you acted and how you were fighting. you weren't fighting to take down Bakugo. You were fighting to save him. Not to mention that dark spear that you took from Bakugo and put into yourself. What exactly was that? What exactly are you really? As both Izuku and Bakugo are getting straight to the infirmary, MHA wasn't the only one curious about that of Izuku, but also Nezu as well, as he remembers those words that Izuku said about his quirk, about his Keyblade after all, and about the Master of Masters. But he's starting to think maybe, just maybe, there's some things in this world no one knows about. And now, maybe it's about time people should know about them. All he needs is some more answers. But he'll wait. With them saying, this was one eventful first match. I do say so. As the Chimera principal couldn't help but smirk, while the sports festival was taking a small hiatus to prepare for the next match. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. So, as you guys like this final fight between that of Izuku and Bakugo, and yeah, this was kind of a toughie for me, to be honest. I didn't want this match to be like long as hell, and I mean really long. Not to mention, I needed to add the commentary between that of certain people as well, because I didn't just want it to be that of a mindless fight between the two. Not to mention, do you guys really expect the pros to just sit on their asses and see basically both kids with that of unique abilities basically beat each other to the point that they begin to draw blood? If any of you guys think that, you're an idiot. And think about it. Midnight and Cementos literally stepped in as soon as both Izuku and Shoto were about to basically give it their all. Hell, I still believe in that theory that Izuku could have beat that of Shoto if Cementos didn't interfere. But then again, that's just me. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to get to date my videos on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, and Patreon. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, hope you all take care. You know what to do, Shiro.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!